Welcome back. You know, rearrange the same broad, different night, Snurdly, past the E and J, and let an N-word get right. The bomb-threatened dude that's on your same flight. The highlight that I live, Snurdly, is a high-ass life. I hate it. Snurdly, I hate it when there's too many N-words. Too many rookies. Not enough pros. Too many N-words. Not enough hoes. The game got switched on some El Rushbo shit, so y'all can suck a dick, bitch. Snurdly.
1059. The Cat.
Politics, 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 politics.
Politics. Who wants to talk about politics? I'm gonna talk about politics. You gotta make the sound. It sounds like Hi everybody. Welcome to the Politics show. Holy crap, man! We have yet another day to talk about all the politics that it was and will be. My name is Justin Robert Young. Feel like last week kind of almost didn't count. Was sick, couldn't really get my energy up. I had to delay the show a day. It's just garbage, just straight garbage. We're now moving in. This is a brief portion of the show in which I take it not only very local to where I live physically, but also within my own head and between my own ears. I'm going to let you guys know what happens. I complain because there's no central air conditioning in California, or at least it's rare outside of office buildings. So what happens is now that the sun's out, I live in an apartment that I'm lucky enough to have a lot of open window space, so a lot of sun gets in, which is great. It's why I got the apartment. It also means that things get hot, and I complain about it. And it sucks. It shows that I'm an emotionally immature baby person, and that I've taken to thousands of people living around the world that have to listen to my complaints because I got the apartment that I wanted that has beautiful views of lovely sunny Oakland, and yet it becomes a little hot inside. And sometimes, especially now that I'm dressing up a little bit, I get a little sweaty. Right? I'm also drinking hot coffee. This probably doesn't help the fact that I get a little sweaty. But you want to know what? We're in kind of a weird period with politics right now. 100 days kind of came and went. And by that, I mean all the media cycles came and went. First, Trump approaching 100 days. What does he think about the 100 days? What do we think about the 100 days? Now let's do the data analysis deep dive of the historical significance of Trump's 100 days compared to other 100 days. And now let's look into all the other elements. How many times did Obama go to a golf course? How many times has Trump gone to a golf course? How many times has the bleep bop gone into the ding dong? And now we do the counter narratives. Is the 100 days really that big of a deal? And then, of course, Trump does all these interviews. Man, I'm starting to think he might not be great at interviews, this guy. You know, he's, I think he really likes, if I'm going to take a guess, I think Donald Trump really likes to do one-on-one off-the-record interviews. Like, because you hear a lot, there's been a lot of talk about politicians saying that, like, he was very, very good about, like, he would like, almost court reporters. Like, not court reporters like they're going to be friends with the stenographer, but, like, he would butter them up. Like, he would see somebody on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. It's the reason why, apparently, he's got such a contentious relationship with Morning Joe, because he likes Joe Scarborough. He likes Mika Brzezinski, and he was, like, friends with them. Like, remember when his voicemail leaked? And it was all these reporters calling him with, like, really friendly conversations. Like, I think he really, really likes that. What he doesn't apparently like all that much is, what is it? Being president? Apparently he doesn't like that so much. Said to an AP reporter, you know, it's really hard. Like, Jesus, this thing is, like, way harder than I thought. I thought, like, I would just be able to, you know, you got all these politicians, all talk. They get to the White House, and they're like, oh, geez, I don't know. Maybe we should have an amendment to the amendment. I don't know. I'll filibuster your amendment. BS. Clear the way. We got a real deal maker coming through. Bada bing, bada boom. 3 calls. I'm going to knock this whole thing out. What? Federal deficit? Hold on. Let me get on the phone real quick. Deficits are us. Yeah, I'm cutting a deal. Boom. Cha. We're out of here. Build a wall? 5 seconds, man. I built buildings. Buildings are 4 walls. You're asking me to build 1? In my sleep. Ching chang. Poo poo. We're building a wall. What do you want? Obamacare disaster. Disastrous Obamacare. I can fix it in 2 seconds. Pop, pop, pop. Call up the companies. Now all of a sudden he's finding out it's a little bit harder. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say, although it's a ridiculous thing to say. It's a ridiculous thing for Donald Trump to just go out and say, like, oh, okay, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be president. But allow me to float this. How would he have known? How on earth would he have known? Nobody in his position has become president before. Ever. Everybody's had government experience or military experience. Some kind of experience that involves dealing with 1 billion pounds of red tape. The most experience that Donald Trump has had with government has probably been city halls and licensing divisions for his buildings and stuff like that. And maybe on an ancillary level, him as a politically active guy donating to campaigns. So yes, you would expect, like, let me put it this way. If a super rich liberal person had taken the job and he were a lot more well-liked by the media, and let's go ahead and say the public at large, and he had said, man, this is a lot more difficult than even I thought, everybody would be like, oh, what humility. What humility from this guy who's humbling himself as this great thinker and creator that yes, the role of the presidency is harder than they would have expected. Now, that is obviously a little bit of a biased perspective because, you know, if somebody was a Democrat, they're going to get a little bit more of a fair shake. Like, I'll tell you what. If and when Mark Zuckerberg becomes a Democratic person who's running, I think people are going to talk themselves into Mark Zuckerberg. People are going to say, hey, you know, like, maybe this is somebody that we should pay attention to. Maybe his outsider experience is what the Democratic Party in America needs. Now, who knows after 4 years of Trump whether or not everyone's going to be so infatuated with this insider-outsider thing, okay? Like, I think that there still is kind of a general divide of elites and non-elites. We were talking about that with Radio Babe a couple weeks ago. But, like, I don't know if the concept of, riding up on the white horse here is the triumphant businessman to run this thing like a business is going to be exactly as attractive as it might have been in 2016. So that's as the Trump turns. We're going to get back to a little bit of they avoided a government shutdown. Whatever. You're not listening to this show, so we can talk about the ins and outs of everything that happened. You can listen to literally every other political show about he punched him and he did that, and I don't know. We're gonna touch a little bit on healthcare at the end of this, but I want to speak on something else, and that is kind of the culture of politics. There was this, for whatever reason, past Johnny Carson, we have been fascinated as an American culture and really a worldwide culture. I mean, people have been fascinated by late night television. Late night television. The hosts of late night. The monologues of late night. And it looked as if, Jimmy Fallon was the guy. Got the Tonight Show, brought it back to New York after a tumultuous kind of issue with Conan O'Brien and Jay Leno. It was like this thing. Now, all of a sudden, Jimmy Fallon steps in. Stephen Colbert takes over for David Letterman. So, Stephen Colbert is struggling in that role, getting his ass kicked by Fallon. Fallon seems to have perfected what the Tonight Show or late night television is in 2017. He's got it all. Viral videos, cute little bits with celebrities where they show just a little bit more of their ass than they would normally, but nothing really gets all too out of hand. Ooh, Anna Kendrick's playing beer pong? I'm going to forward this to my aunt. Bleep, blop, bloop. Stephen Colbert, meanwhile, who has made his bones in politics, is finding himself not only trailing behind, but also not even really overtaking Jimmy Fallon when the country is as dialed in on politics as they are. And that's largely because he comes from a fairly one side of the road perspective. The Colbert Report, of course, was a mockery of Fox News television, Bill O'Reilly specifically, with him playing the character of a blowhard conservative pundit. And everything changes on election night when all of a sudden, by surprise, Donald Trump becomes the president. And the idea of political activism seeping into mainstream culture becomes something that we had not previously seen. And so all of a sudden, Jimmy Fallon looks like this toothless little baby who was asleep at the gate while the barbarian hordes came in. Seth Meyers is pooping on Trump. Colbert is pooping on Trump. And what's Jimmy Fallon doing? Oh, he's tussling his little hair like this is some sort of joke to him. So past election day, all of a sudden, it's Stephen Colbert that's got the inside track. Stephen Colbert is the guy who has the world by the balls. He's the king of late night. This is huge news. He wasn't a failure. He was just early to the wave. Well, that was until this week. Ladies and gentlemen, I have not actually heard this clip, but let's go ahead and take a look This is Stephen Colbert from his monologue, I believe, Monday night. You can find it on YouTube. This monologue goes out to you, Mr. President.
Tried to get Trump to commit to releasing his tax returns finally, but it was the same old song and dance about under audit. So, I'd like to rephrase the question. Mr. President, can you talk about your tax returns as a metaphor for your penis?
I have a very big tax return. You've seen the pictures. My tax return is probably higher than that from the floor. When you look at other people's tax return, even other wealthy people, their tax return is this thick. My tax return is this high.
We get it. You have a huge tax return. But you know what would be nice? A full release. Later. Braves.
To cry.
So he keeps going on and on and on.
Bring. Sorry, hello, yes.
This is a 12-minute monologue. I can't find the clip. Probably should have done that before. Long story short, he says the following line. Stephen Colbert sparked outrage. This is from the New York Daily News. Stephen Colbert sparked outrage when he's deemed when what some deemed a homophobic joke the comedian told while defending a CBS colleague. During his opening monologue Tuesday evening, Colbert remarked about Trump, "The only thing your mouth is good for is being Vladimir Putin's cockholster." There we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Tiffany Network, CBS, the home of blue bloods. The only thing your mouth is good for is being Vladimir Putin's cockholster. So, just so we're keeping track of what is happening in 2017, the issue here is not the fact that in the Ed Sullivan Theater, where the Beatles were once a shocking shocking world-shaking sensation. Oh no, where Elvis Presley was not allowed to swivel his hips, where the Rolling Stones had to say, "Let's spend some time together" instead of "let's spend the night together." Stephen Colbert said that the President of the United States' mouth was best used as a cock holster for the Russian president. That's not the issue. The issue is that cock holster, in this context, for some, enough that hashtag Fire Colbert was trending, that is homophobic. Now, I am not here to make a call on that. If you want somebody to come on out here and say, and that's why Colbert should never be on television again. You son of a bitch. You can't understand what it is. This is a shifting word issue where you are the joke. The point of your joke is that being gay is weird or different, and so you're insulting the president by saying that him sucking a penis is wrong. Hashtag Fire Colbert. If you want that show, you can go find another show. And to that point, if you want and that's why these SJW cock libtards can't handle a joke these days, this might as well be Auschwitz. That's fine. You can go find that show elsewhere too. Here's exactly what I want to know. Is it okay to insinuate that a close relationship between two people, regardless of sex, is, for comedic effect, heightened to sexual? Like, you and a coworker are really close, right? Let's say you're of the opposite sex, and another mutual friend is like, "Oh, well, you guys always hang out on Tuesdays. I don't know if you're making out or something." Is that funny? I mean, usually that's funny, right? And I guess it is heightened a little bit if it's two guys that are hanging out all the time and somebody says, oh, I bet you guys are just gay lovers. Because they're not gay. So the barrier there is their sexuality. That is being broken for comedic effect. I don't know if that inherently says that being gay is wrong, right? But I'm not gay, so I wouldn't know. I don't know how a gay person takes that. If you're gay, email me, theyoungamerican@gmail.com. Like, I'm not asking you to speak for all gaydom. Just curious your own opinion. Because if we know that is true, if insinuating that a close relationship can be heightened to a sexual relationship for comedic effect, then you're really just around the corner from what Colbert was going for, which is that dominance can be heightened to a sexual relationship. So it's like, if you are the secretary to somebody, somebody can joke, oh, well, I bet you have to blow him every morning, right? Or blow her, or blow her. Now, cock holster seems like a really, it seems like, that seems graphic, right? Because cock holster, I mean, that's some imagery. You think of a holster, right? Like, you think of some Gunsmoke shit, right? Like Vladimir Putin's like doing like fancy dick tricks and he's like whipping his dick around on his finger and there's smoke pouring out of it because he just blew a load and then he's like putting it back violently in his cock holster. Like that's definitely a weird sentence. I don't know if I've ever heard a cock holster said before. I see you in the Twitch chat. The cum slinger. Oh, deep viral marketing for the new Dark Tower. And this is Jester Wood in the Twitch chat points out rightly that the reason why Colbert went off on this is because there was a interview, was part of his 100-day media tour, where he abruptly ended an interview with CBS when the reporter brought up his, how do you say this? I mean, it's being called baseless charges, but, then we just get into this semantics argument on what the charges really are, and, Donald Trump is intentionally vague about that. President Trump is intentionally vague about that. So it's hard to pin down exactly what everybody's talking about. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's just so frustrating. It's like, okay, yeah, baseless charges, fine, okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know, they seem baseless to me. I don't really see a whole lot of evidence that, from what Donald Trump said, that President Obama is a sick and bad guy for wiretapping Trump Towers. But if his charge is that people in Trump Towers were being wiretapped, then that's true. There were wiretaps in Trump Towers. Like that we do know. So whether or not it was about his campaign is really the only thing we're arguing about, and it's just frustrating and stupid. I don't know. So I don't think that this is going to get Colbert fired. But I do think that there is this kind of creeping thing that's happening now in media. And that is, Colbert's on the other side, but I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but the creeping angel of death is lingering around media figures. I'm going to get to that in a second. Daniel J. Newman points out, suppose Hillary won and he said that line, is it better or worse if it's not gay? That's interesting. That's interesting. So let's say that Stephen Colbert was vehemently anti-Hillary and said that the best thing her mouth is used for is a cock holster for Vladimir Putin. Or let's say that she was so close with Angela Merkel of Germany that her mouth was best used as a muff buffer. That'd probably go really bad too, right? That's an instant firing, right? Like, he would totally get fired for that. You can't say that about the first female president. You can't just go out and say that, you know, her mouth is best used as a cock holster for a man or a muff buffer for a woman. Although I guess it is interesting, though, because we would look at that differently. There is a double standard in calling guys gay for each other and women gay for each other. Because it does seem a little bit more insidious. Because, like, Hillary Clinton has had gay rumors since Hillary Clinton has been in the public eye. You know, she's had, you know, rumors that, you know, Huma Abedin, her longtime personal assistant, was a effectively a live-in lover for her. Like, you know, so if Stephen Colbert said that Hillary Clinton was gay, that would take on a different tone. This does seem like Colbert just like just a little rabbit shot to the kidneys for Trump. So you want to know what? Maybe I'm coming around on this. Maybe I'm coming around because it is different. It is different for women than it is for men. And maybe, I don't know which way it should go. Should we find gay jokes for guys as offensive as a gay joke for a woman would be, or for Hillary Clinton would be? I mean, I guess Hillary Clinton's not a perfect example here, but let's just go with it. Or should we seek to make more jokes about Hillary Clinton being gay? Or, sorry, as many jokes about Donald Trump being gay as we would about, the other way, I had it right. About Hillary Clinton being gay as much as we would joke about Donald Trump being gay. Or should we not joke about being gay at all? Should we just joke about, well, I guess you really can't separate a sex joke from a gay joke if you're going to make it about two guys, right? Man, it's complicated. It's hard thinking about everything you're saying. You know? It really is a pain in the ass. Like, I mean, I've really only over the last, 5 years had any kind of platform. But I don't know if I like it, man. I feel like at some point it's just gonna be a problem. Ninja Steve says the motive behind calling guys gay is usually to emasculate them, while calling women gay is usually meant to insinuate that they're overly masculine. So there is some kind of a shifting. You are playing with the public perception of sexuality. You are using that as a stick to beat somebody. So, all right. I guess I'm coming around on the understanding of where it would be problematic, but I still don't know if I'm there that it's can't be comedic. Comedy sometimes is problematic. And at the end of the day, I think I have more of a problem that that he's saying the word cock holster. Although I find that funny. But that, I mean, if you were to list, you show me that clip and then list for me the things that are wrong with it. You know, I would say probably cock holster first. I do want to talk real quick about this angel of death that's circling around conservative media. Like, I don't know what happened. Conservative media, theoretically, has this golden age before them. They were the only ones saying that there was the silent majority out there. And, now all of a sudden they're right. And yet everybody's getting fired. Bill O'Reilly, fired. Megyn Kelly flees the scene. Tommy Lauren, fired. It's weird. It's definitely just a weird scene. Milo looked to be having his coming out party. Boom, fired. Now he's going to start his own company. I don't know. It's weird. It is a weird situation. I don't really have any kind of big point on that. It's just something that I found fascinating. That there is, and now apparently the head of Fox News. The question is whether or not the head of Fox News now is going to stay. And meanwhile, Sean Hannity's like, hey, if that guy leaves, I'm out. And there's rumors that there's going to be some new conservative thing, that Fox News itself might be on its way out. I don't know. All right, real quick, something that I asked folks in a Patreon survey a couple weeks ago was what they liked and didn't like about the show. One of the things that they didn't like about the show, or that I could change, we like to evolve, change, is the big block of ads up at the front. So now we're doing the Rush Limbaugh thing up at the front. We're doing the ads in the middle. But I thought I would take it a step further. So I am going to no longer read ads. Okay? I'm not going to read ads anymore. I think that it taints my opinion, even if I'm just plugging my own stuff. It kind of makes this just a little dirtier. So I know a lot of you have heard that I'm looking to bring some people on to the operation. I've brought somebody on to read the ads, and so here we go. This is just going to be the first ad. We're going to keep this going. Where somebody else is going to be reading the ad. So it's weird for me to throw to somebody else, but here we go. This is the contender read. Hey y'all, it's me, the Ad Dragon. We got a new hot deal pulling into the station. Woo woo! It's called the Contender, y'all, the game of presidential debate. And if you want it, you can go ahead on over to thecontender.us. Well, y'all, it is just the best game you've ever played. You and your friends ever want to get together and just say, hey, let's have ourselves a presidential debate? Well, if you did it on Tabletop Weekend last weekend, then this is the perfect time to buy it. Everybody loves it. Come on over to thecontender.us. If you go to the Buy the Game tab, well, you can get our new deal. It is $49.99, and it gets you everything you could possibly want. Well, it's the 500-card base deck, the 2016 primary expansion, that's 100 cards, and the politically incorrect expansion that gives you all the naughty words. Every card in the deck comes from a real presidential quote, y'all. This is just super awesome. And if you want a free expansion because you already got the Contender, then you can sign up for the Contender mailing list. bit.ly/C Contender, G game. If you do that, every single week, there is a brand new winner. In fact, this week's winner is none other than Captain Temerity. Captain Temerity, go ahead and take a look in your inbox because we got a free expansion coming your way. Woo, woo! Dragon here saying if you ain't playing the Contender, then you ain't playing nothing. All right, y'all, I'm out. See you next week. Everybody go ahead and thank Thank the ad dragon. It's weird. Weird not reading my own ads anymore. Let's move on here. I want to know if I can call people cucks. I've found myself wanting to call people cucks. And I don't know whether or not it's like too politically charged. I mean, just, I don't really, there's not really a thing. We already did like a language police segment. So just email me, theyoungamerican@gmail.com. Is it okay to call people cucks? We do have one update here. I told you guys I was going to touch back on healthcare, and it has come to my attention that there are, there are some very interesting developments when it comes to healthcare, because there might be somebody that can bridge the gap. Let's go ahead and understand that right now, the problem with the repealing and replacing of Obamacare is that Paul Ryan made the first proposal, and like his predecessor, John Boehner, ran into opposition within his own party, the Freedom Caucus specifically. Chief among them, probably the most famous person who is in the Freedom Caucus, is named Rand Paul. Rand Paul, son of Ron Paul. He was upset that he didn't have any hand in helping to craft it. He held strong with his other members of the Freedom Caucus to not vote for it, and they wound up having to pull the vote. Well, now they're trying to go back at it. They got a new repeal ACA bill that is trying to make its way through the House of Representatives, and it seems as if maybe the Freedom Caucus might be ready to thaw. But I've got a sneaking suspicion as to why. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's gotta be Kane! Because, ladies and gentlemen, Rand Paul has endorsed Glenn Jacobs for mayor. That is a fairly heavy-hitting endorsement for a local election like that. Rand Paul endorsing the man they know as Kane in his run. This is from rare.us. Glenn Jacobs, known the world over as the World Wrestling Entertainment's Kane, is a longtime librarian and conservative activist who recently stepped into the political arena when he announced his bid for mayor in Knox County, Tennessee. On Tuesday, Jacobs received the endorsement of one of the most high-profile libertarian-leaning conservatives in Washington, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. Quote, "The battle for liberty happens at all levels, federal, state, and local," Paul said in a statement shared on social media. "My friend Glenn Jacobs has not only made a name for himself in the world of WWE, but for years has labored as a community activist eager to bring more freedom and prosperity to as many people as possible. His small government and pro-liberty philosophies of government on education, the economy, regulation, taxes, and more is exactly what we need in our politics. It's why I think Glenn would be an excellent choice for the mayor of Knox County." For the record, the Kane campaign, or the Glenn Jacobs campaign, has not gotten back to my request for an interview. I will continue to ask him for one. But why do I think this has anything to do with health care? Well, Kane, of course, longtime employee of the WWE. WWE is very close, especially at the top, with Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon, with Donald Trump. They have a bit of a kinship. They find themselves to be similarly self-made men. They have helped each other along the way, so much so that Linda McMahon secured a spot in the Trump administration. So, if Kane has the bona fides to come to Rand Paul, and Trump needs to do some horse trading with the Freedom Caucus, I'm sure that Donald Trump is hoping that when the vote comes around on his repeal and replace Obamacare, he gets from Rand Paul and, oh, yes! Because Rand Paul Bearer could be the swing vote that brings the Trump repeal and replace Obamacare vote to fruition. I love that Photoshop. It's so good. All right, enough of the the wrestling references. Let's go ahead and get to what really matters, and that is cutting loose. Cutting loose, folks. There's an election happening very soon out there in the UK, which means we got some UK polls, which means what do you say? Man, I'm gonna hop on a jet to Heathrow. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna go right to that currency exchange and I'm gonna say, listen, son, I'm gonna need as many notes as possible because this is a UK.
Get on the floor if you got that booty.
Dance, 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 dance.
That booty.
This is the daily tracking aggregate from The Mirror, updated May 2nd. Coming first to the stage at 2.8%, it is the Green Party. At 7.2%, they might have been the catalyst for Brexit, but they can't get out of the basement when it comes to the general. It is the UK Independence Party, UK. At 10.5%, taking over the hold of third place. It is the Liberal Democrats.
Get on the floor if you got that booty.
But now, your top two. You know, they thought this could be their moment, and yet it is slipping away from them. They got sweat on their brow and not much to show for it. Ladies and gentlemen, one day after May Day, it is the 27.3% of the Labour Party. But speaking of your headliner, you can call her Justin Timberlake because it looks for sure that no matter when they hold this election, it's gonna be May. 42.1% for Theresa May and the So yeah, that was a good move by Theresa May. Turns out, yeah, she called a great election. All the Labor people hate Jeremy Corbyn, and she's going to win. We were going to have a guest that was going to talk a lot about this, and he wound up dropping out. So maybe we'll get him next week. But we'll talk a little bit more about British politics next week. Meanwhile, you can email theyoungamerican@gmail.com. Again, that is theyoungamerican@gmail.com. gmail.com. Shiftlock writes, shit's going down with our dear president and the great leader of North Korea. As a South Floridian native, you can't be more than 3 degrees of separation away from Dennis Rodman. Justin, please get out the word to our savior that he needs to call a meeting with these two hotheads, these hothead friends of his. Don't wait. The time to act is now. Yeah, you know, I'll tell you what. He is our ace in the hole. We need to go to the worm. We need to rouse him out of whatever casino floor bar that he's at right now. Wake up the worm and say, listen, your country needs you. You got to get Kim Jong-un. You got to get Donald Trump at the table. Let's figure this one out. Man, I'm glad that I don't do a real show. I'm glad that I do a silly show. And I don't know what the fuck I would talk about when it comes to this foreign relation shit. Scott from Twitter writes, cheer up. This was our song last week. We were talking about the 2 Korean presidential candidates that are both using a parody version of this song here, Cheer Up. And Scott tweeted me at Justin R. Young. Said, cheer up is similar to Call Me Maybe for the USA in 2012 in both dominance of the culture and the song narrative. It would not have shocked me to see both pro-Obama ads and pro-Romney ads with Carly Rae Jepsen parodies. That's true. I think that's actually for real. That makes sense. I would not have been shocked either. So big ups to Scott for figuring that out. Now, neither of them did it. And it would be weird if they did it from the official campaign. That would be weird. So that is still there. But, you know, I think in general, you know, that is a pretty good equivalent. And also, we've gotten a bunch of emails on the love for the Rush Limbaugh bit. Zach wrote, I love the Rush impression as somebody who grew up with their dad always playing Limbaugh in the car. It's funny and even weirdly nostalgic. And Eric writes, brilliant. My favorite moment from the show in Todos, if you don't count the election night special, which was just magic. I'm going to let you guys know, I don't know what to do with this Rush Limbaugh impression. I don't know how many people get it. I don't know how many people think it's weird. I kind of think that we're running out of steam with it, to be honest with you. So it may just go away one day, but I appreciate the fact that people do appreciate it. A reminder that we're giving away 1 free Contender expansion a week for people who are on our mailing list. So go ahead and sign up at bit.ly/C Contender, G Games. And you can buy the Contender at thecontender.us. You can email theyoungamerican@gmail.com. Music has been provided by Valesco and Trumpcare. Follow me at Justin R. Young everywhere. If you are in the UK, Snapchat me. Only if you're in the UK. Download archived episodes of this show at bonerwars.com. Until next week, remember, some shows talk about politics. Others talk about politics. This is some other shows talk about politics, and yet this is the only show that talks about all three. We will see you guys next week. Wink.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.